Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we have lesson 6.5, where we just do more life and death problems. Let's go ahead and get started. Remember, when you see the problem, pause the video and try and solve it on your own first, and then see the solution. I would like you guys to try and solve as many as you can on your own without my help to make sure you have an understanding. However, if you can't solve it, or you don't understand it, or you have the wrong answer, I'll be able to show the solution, and then you can fix your thinking in order to solve it next time. Alright, here's our first two problems, so go ahead and pause the video and try and solve it. Were you able to see the solution? You may ask, which color do I play? Well, it's actually in the description. Black to live or black to kill. These are the two options you really have. Which one's surrounded? Who's surrounded here? That's how you can normally tell what you're trying to do. When someone's surrounded, then usually that person's either dying or that person can live. So, in problems, rather than try and figure out whose color or which turn it is or whose color should be playing, it's best to try and figure out where's the vital point in general. What's the solution of this problem regardless of whose turn it is? What's the best move for both players? That's usually a better way to think about it. Of course, it's not always so straightforward, and sometimes you will need to know that this color is the one that needs to be playing because there is a certain solution for this specific color. But for beginner level problems, I recommend trying to find the vital point for both players, not just one color. This will help you have a better understanding of if I was white, what would I play? And if I was black, what would I play? That way you can see it from both perspectives. In this case, though, it is black to play, and black is trying to live because white is surrounding black here in the corner. So black wants to live. In order to live, we need two eyes. So the way to play is actually to make this move. If you play here, then black has two eyes. If you don't, then white can play here, and you can see black only has one eye, and black will eventually die. In the bottom left, it's a similar move. This was a block, and here is also a block. You want to block white directly and make two eyes. All right, let's look at another one. Here, where is the vital point? The vital point for this one is, again, block. Here, black makes one, two eyes. And if white plays, black only has one eye. All right, here, this one may be a little bit tricky, so try and take your time on it. All right, the answer is here. Black has one, two eyes. If black plays something else, for example here, in order to make the eye larger, white can actually just play here, the vital point. And you may think, well, what if black just extends? Then white's dead on the inside. Ah, but how many liberties does black have right now? White can actually capture black. And now black only has one eye. Same if black plays here, white can simply play here. And if you try to cut the white stone off, then white will capture. And if you play here, then I can just play it here. There's no way to cut it off. So the vital point is here. And of course, if black tanukis, then white can play here. For those who don't know, tanuki means to play away from the local situation. If there's ever a time where I say a term or some type of Go terminology that you don't understand, please feel free to ask in the comments below and someone will be happy to explain it to you. Or you can Google it. There's a website called Sensei's Library that has all the Go terminology in all the languages. All right, so here, the vital point here. What about here? The vital point here is actually here. Now, black has two eyes. If black plays this one, then white will simply play inside and take the eye. And of course, white plays here, black is dead. All right, what about this one? Ah, we changed it up on you. This is actually black to kill, not a black to live. See, black has surrounded white, so it's actually white to live, and if it's black's turn, then it's black to kill. So where's the vital point here? It's actually the same. Black plays on the inside and the center, and we'll reduce this 3 in a row shape down to 1 eye. Remember, in our last video, we talked about how this is considered 1 eye if black plays a vital point first. Because white can't play, otherwise it's self-Atari. White must play somewhere else, and then black can play later, but you might not have to, so let me explain that here in a second, but black can play, and then white plays, and then it's eventually dead. Now, let me elaborate a little, again, on what I just said. I may have mentioned this before, but once you play the vital point, and you see that this group is dead and has no way to make 2 eyes, it's already considered dead, meaning you do not have to play any more moves to take the stones off the board. Now, this is very vital, so I want you guys to really remember this idea, that if the group is already considered dead, and there's no way to make 2 eyes, don't continue playing on it. Why is this so important? Well, it actually has to do with scoring territory, which we'll get more into later. But for now, you need to realize that if you play inside, you'll actually lose your own points and lose the initiative to play somewhere else on the board because you're trying to kill something that's already dead. If it's already dead as it stands, then when you score the game, it'll still be considered dead and it'll still be your points. However, if you play on the inside, white says it's already dead, and you capture, well, white just got 2 extra moves in a row on the board. So you can see that rather than playing the vital point, so let's say it's your turn right now, and you can have the option of playing a big move, or you can try and capture the stones that are already considered dead. If you do that, white will ignore, and Tanuki, and Tanuki. So you can see, while you did capture the stones were already dead. There's no way for white to live. So rather than do that, you should go play somewhere else. This is an important concept to remember. So hopefully you will have an idea that once the group's considered dead, there's no way to live, don't keep playing on it. Once we get into how to score the game, you'll realize that you can actually lose points by trying to play on dead groups and dead stones. All right, so we have a couple more problems, so let's go ahead and move on. Here, the solution is here. That's the vital point of the bent 3. This one. The vital point is actually here. If black simply tries to reduce the eye space like this, white will play here and make 2 eyes. So it's good to play the vital point. And if white tries to cut you, it's actually self-Atari, you can just capture. And even if it wasn't, and white could capture, it's still only 2 in a row, which is 1 eye. So sometimes the vital point's more important than reducing the eye space, but you have to be very careful and you have to see it very clearly, otherwise you might end up losing points. But here, this is the move. And here, this is a similar idea. Play the vital point here. Because here, it's a 3 in a row shape. You can just capture. If you try to reduce, I will play the vital point and have 2 eyes. And our last one, where to play is black. If you say here, actually that's kind of wrong because white will still play the vital point and white will have 2 eyes. So it's good to play here. You may ask, well, what if white just gets out? Well, then you can simply block with a tiger's mouth. Tiger's mouth is a very strong shape. This shape is the tiger's mouth. If white plays on the inside, you can simply eat the stone. So it's like white just jumped inside of a tiger's mouth, and the tiger's mouth closed on him, and the tiger ate the stone. The tiger's mouth is a strong shape. So you can simply block like this, and white can't escape, and on the inside, white only has one eye, therefore white is considered dead. Now you could block, and white only has one eye. So here is the vital point. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.